Dax and Leanne here, back for another Q&A for our lovely community of ladies over at Eat.Play.Love.Live. Dax, what's our next question going on over here?
Our next question. Our next question. Our next question, because my page is frozen. But our next question is from Paula Duffin. She says, motivation and drive to eat healthy and work out. I've lost it recently after having a very stressful few months, becoming a single mum of twin babies. I used to eat clean 90% of the time and work out 5 to 6 days a week, and now I'm at zero. I know how to eat clean and I know how to work out, but how do I get that motivation back? Time and energy is a big issue for me right now. Leanne.
Okay. And this is from Paula, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Paula. So a couple of different things that came to my mind. The first one is, I want to invite you to just meet yourself where you are, because you said that you just had a really stressful period of time. You just became a single mom. And so life has actually altered for you. Your brain is experiencing changes and is going through new stresses and threats. And so if your expectation levels are that you're going to be performing in exactly the levels that you were before all this stress came into play, you're probably going to be a little bit underwhelmed with yourself. And so there's a couple sides to that, right? One is, changing your expectations or just adjusting them to reflect your new lifestyle, but also kind of just like giving yourself a break, giving yourself permission to just be where you are and let yourself experience the stresses that you're experiencing, right? That being said, a couple other patterns that I noticed that I just wanted to kind of point out to you. You said that you used to work out quite a few times a week, and now it went down to zero or nothing. So that is which a lot of women can resonate with, that whole all or nothing concept, right? And so what I have found when people are kind of all in or all out, right, black or white, it usually means that the plan or program that we committed ourselves to is not really practical for us long term. And the easiest way to know whether something's practical for us long term is what happens when we're in threat, right? If that goes, it would be a different scenario if you were working out 4 or 5 days a week, and since you got in stress or threat, it went down to 3 or 2. But the all or nothing shows me that it's not really this stress or threat proof plan for you. So there's a couple ways to address that. One would be find a plan that is really practical for you in your everyday life, right? But also give yourself permission to create meet yourself where you are when you're in threat. What is your plan? Or you can have different modalities for when you're, on the go, or when everything's gung-ho, right? And then a backup plan for when you're feeling stressed or threat. So you can do that, right? But there's another element to it, because you use the word motivation. There's a big difference between motivation and inspiration. And to me, motivation really is going to come from these external sources, whether it's someone or something else driving you, right? And so what it says to me is what wasn't lit up inside of you? What was not coming from within? Because when I'm inspired to do something, right? A fire-breathing dragon and a shark with laser beams or a bomb scare could not keep me from following through with it. When I'm motivated to do something, I look for reasons to give myself permission to not do it. So motivation has its place, right? But it's not a long-term solution, in my opinion, at least. So those are just a couple of things that came to my mind. What were you seeing in that, Dax?
Well, to be honest, the first thing that really concerned me here was the laser beam shocks. I'm not going anywhere with laser beam shocks. That's just it. It's just
freaking laser beams, man.
It's wrong on every level.
I know.
It's just wrong on every level.
I know. They're scary. But this is a hashtag real world problem.
To give Paula's answer the seriousness it deserves. Yeah, I think you covered most of it, but I think there's also just another aspect here as well that kind of relates to, I think, an answer that we gave in one of our recent Q&As, which was related to the anterior cingulate cortex, right? So think about, obviously, we understand this, most people don't understand this, right? But the anterior cingulate cortex is the social integration network of the human brain. And so it sounds to me that two very interesting things you call them stressful, and maybe part of it may be horrible, but interesting to the human brain is that one relationship, an important relationship, has broken, and these two new relationships with your twin babies have started. There's a whole bunch of flux in your life around socializations, around your social connections. Rather than thinking about exercise, and rather than thinking about training and whether your diet is clean and all that kind of stuff, what I would suggest as being the primary priority here is to go and strengthen all of your existing social relationships. Like, see more of your friends. See, like, it's the one thing that people do the opposite, right? They close the doors when a relationship ends. They close the doors and kind of keep themselves to themselves, because there's very often some associated shame or guilt or something around that, and that often happens around becoming a new parent as well. Kind of we kind of, you know, we go into our little cave and we close all the doors. Now, if you still had a strong partnership going on while you had these beautiful babies come along, then that would be one thing. But certainly, I think the first thing to do is to just check yourself for any form of isolation that you may be creating. And what you'll find, I know it doesn't sound like it's directly relevant to a nutritional and training question here, right? But it is. It's completely in alignment with this. A lot of what you think to be your bad eating is just the eating that is being triggered by this social part of the brain. And I honestly, because I've seen this hundreds, if not thousands of times, if you can reconnect and strengthen your existing social connections with other people, you'll probably start to find that what you are currently calling like your bad eating will almost kind of give up by itself. So, you know, kind of Leanne added some really good stuff there, but I'd just like to add that too. Yeah. I don't know what you think on that.
And just to kind of, when you're not exercising, like the time that you used to be exercising, when you're not, I would look at what you are doing instead. And I have a feeling that if you were, those times, even if they weren't replaced with exercise, if they were replaced with social connection, a lot of your bad habits, quote unquote bad habits, would go out of the way too, because they're also connection based. So right. Yeah, great. Love that you brought that up. Super important.
And just want to close out that one with, you know, kind of, you'll see us, we'll do kind of air quotes bad habits, because actually kind of the way that we work here is that nothing that you're doing is bad, right? Absolutely nothing. Even if you're filling your face with cheesecake from dawn till dusk, it's not necessarily bad, but the better question is this serving me? Right. Given where I want to go, is it serving me? And the reality is that even the things that you think are bad, they're always serving you. Like sitting on your butt on the sofa serves you in some way. Right. You're burnt out and you're exhausted and you're lonely and you want to sit on the sofa and eat cheesecake. Well, it's still serving you. But
and here's the thing too, like, is it a tool or is it a weapon? Because like, I know I can eat a chocolate chip cookie and it can be a tool of pleasure and connection to my senses and all that. Or it can be a weapon of shame, blame, guilt, comparison. Same thing. I can use TV as a tool of relaxation and decompression, or it can be a tool of, you know, guilt and comparison and blame. And so it's not about what we're doing, it's who we're being while we're using it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Okay, Paula, I hope that answer was of some use to you, and it probably went off in a very, very different direction to, you know, it sounded like your general question was asking about training and nutrition, but obviously we've given you a different perspective on that. But I hope you find it useful.
Thanks,
okay,
Paula.
let's go do another one.
All right. Bye, ladies.